Alright then, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, kicking off today's battle on Vigil Prime here. A previously lost battle to the annals of history due to the insane amount of losses that the Imperial Guard took on this planet. Basically, there was some corruption in the higher echelons of the Imperial Guard, which led to the death of roughly about 15 million Death Corps of Krieg over a 10-year period, as they were sent into absolute suicide missions against waves and waves of chaos that were led by the Chaos Lord Xandrak the Reborn here, as he led his siege of Vigil Prime underway. Now the reason, like I said, is that it was lost to the annals of time is because the Imperial Guard were quite simply embarrassed that their high command had been infiltrated by chaos so easily. So they thought, well, if no one ever knows about the battle, no one can ever complain about it. However, recently unarchived footage of the battle shows us exactly what went down here. As we can see the Chaos Renegade Gunners storming in towards that Death Corps of Krieg regiment here, the 143rd Siege Regiment, trying to defend at the first front lines here of Tanner's Reach. Now, unfortunately, these very front lines here don't hardly have any support. It is just literally a bunch of Kriegsmen thrown onto the front line to try and hold it in place. Again, the crookedness of Imperial Command not really giving the troops on the front line the support that they truly need. Though, of course, being the Kriegers here, they're not going to turn down any challenge. They're happy to be fighting chaos. As you can see, Plague-ridden start coming in. The Chaos here trying to breach the front line trenches, just throwing wave after wave of troop at the Kriegsman's line. Now, the second line of defense does actually have more support with it. So, should this first line falter, the Chaos will have a heck of a challenge trying to take out the artillery position located to the rear of this area. Now, in the comments below, there will be a little bit of an overview of this entire battle. This is a completely made-up battle by me, by the way. So, it's just a little bit of fun, really. But we can see our Kriegers here absolutely halting the advance of the Chaos Warriors. The Renegade Gunners throwing themselves right into that front line. The Kriegsmen, shovels at the ready though, just batting about Chaos Skulls. It's like a tennis match for them. Just back and forth, back and forth. But the green stinky ones bringing the plague to that front line, in contrast to the red goo that's now spread all over the floor. There's not even a trench line left here on our front line. The Kriegers trying their best to hold back the tides of death that are just descending upon them. And look at that, we've literally made a lake in the first few minutes through that trench line. But the Chaos are stuck on the other side of it. They're going to have to build the bodies up to be able to get across these, with 360,000 losses already going to Chaos. I mean, oh god, look at them. Just piling up and covering up the terrain slowly here, with the enemy dead. Again, the trench line extremely hard to defend when they've not got the right amount of support. Every now and then you will see like that, an artillery shell does manage to find its way to the front line, as the guys at the back desperately try to support their brethren over here. Oh, that was a lovely hit there by the artillery. Chaos pushing in every single little gap that they can. The Kriegers doing an excellent job of holding them back. The losses are starting to mount as we've just gone past 420. Look at this though, in the center lines, these are rear guard trenches over there, so that's actually really funneling the Chaos into these little attack paths. Unfortunately for this side of the line, that does mean that they are bearing the full brunt of a Chaos assault, whereas in the middle the firepower is a lot more divided, allowing them to hold on for a lot longer here. The Chaos really struggling in this area to get any momentum going. They're just being railed into the sides of, as they come over the crest here and try to breach into the trench. The Kriegers at the ready with bayonets and shovels, stabbing and packing their bodies high. I mean, just look at that front line. It looks like the Chaos have actually managed to start building some bridges across the trench here, out of Renegade Gunners no less. The Renegade Gunners there forming a lovely little corpse bridge, as the Chaos now swarm right through into this Death Corps group. The 143rd Siege group here doing an excellent job trying to hold back But, of course, Chaos has the overwhelming numbers. You know, having people in high command who are also corrupted by the powers of Chaos also helps them out significantly. Also, let's go back over to this other side over here. Let's go see what's happening at this side of the battlefield. You can see the defensive lines in the background over there, ready and waiting their turn. How are we doing on this side, chaps? Again, an excellent last stand here. The Kriegers on the flanks didn't really stand any chance. They were definitely going to get overwhelmed. But they have put in the work. Over 500,000 Chaos have been lost at this point, trying to take an unsupported line. So, you know, that's pretty good going. The Kriegers here losing 11,000 men so far. Ah, look at that. Just stretching off into the distance. Let's go have a quick inspection of these lines over here. You can see that we've got multiple support lines over here. Kriegers are a little bit more entrenched. It's a lot better. We've got all the artillery guns, and we've got multiple defensive lines. So the Chaos are going to have a lot more of a hard time trying to take on that, especially as they've got to build up the bodies to be able to effectively get across this trench line. Oh man, that artillery really starting to pick up now. The Chaos pushing through the Krieger lines ever so slightly. I mean, let's face it, this flank has completely capitulated here. Go back down here and have a look at this front line. Oh, I absolutely love it. Just the sheer insanity of Warhammer 40K. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Look at our trench line as well. Slowly but surely getting filled in. 13,000 losses now to 675,000, yeah. And look at this side of the battlefield. It's completely fallen. There's only a couple of Kriegers left in the center. And it does look like then that we're going to start getting, here we go, yeah, the first contact on the second line. Now, like I said, we have actually got artillery guns and things like that over here, and overlapping at fields of fire, so it's going to be a lot more difficult for the Chaos to actually be able to push this one. Yeah, they're already taking a lot of losses there, coming across the open fields. Luckily, the artillery hasn't started targeting them yet, but it's only a matter of time. So we wait for the last of the Kriegers here on this portion of the line to be mopped up by the Chaos forces that are trying to overwhelm them. What we're going to quickly do is hit a little time-lapse camera here and see if the Chaos can push past them. We'll be back in a second. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. Chaos has finally breached the front line of the Kriegers here and are going to go on to assault the second line. You can see now that our Imperial artillery is already raining down upon the lines here, causing absolutely devastating losses amongst the advancing Chaos army. As it's just coming over the crest of the hill, is being machine gunned down by high precision hellbore fire. The artillery guns as well, lending that fire support to the front line as the Chaos take stupendous losses and trying to breach their way through here. Of course, the flanking maneuver not going too well here. Chaos unable to get the forces around. They're actually stuck at the moment, still hung up on the Kriegers defending the flank. Now we have got a line behind them as well, still ready to defend. The Chaos have taken just over 1 million losses. But now the full might of the Chaos army is about to come descending upon the Imperial lines. Oh man, I love that Imperial artillery just kicking up troops into the air. It doesn't matter if you're a demon, it doesn't matter if you're a person. Heck, it doesn't matter if you're a Terminator. When one of them Earthshaker shells lands next to you, you're being knocked off your feet, even if you're a Terminator, for God's sake. Them things are dangerous. Look at this, though, on the far flank here. The Chaos are testing the Krieger's defense, but both lines here are actually able to support each other. The trench line behind, lending its fire support to that front line. Like I said, unlike our very front lines, them soldiers were basically sent out into a slaughter. That was basically that. That's how the high command was infiltrated. So Chaos had corrupted a couple of lieutenants and stuff like that were high up in the chain of command. And so what they kept doing was sending out these suicide parties with completely undefended, unsupported lines, and they'd allow them to die, but then actually have a solid second defensive line so that they wouldn't be discovered. It's like, oh yeah, we did lose a lot of men, but hey look, we actually won the battle. And that was the plan. And the Kriegers lost so many men doing it. But look at this now. The Chaos are taking an absolute pounding. Even the demons are struggling to get to this front line. The overlapping of firepower. You just look at that. A crimson sky. Demons charging at you. And the Kriegsmen standing shoulder to shoulder. It's an Imperial Guardsman's dream. Or nightmare, I don't know. They're not all suicidal, are they? Oh man, the artillery is having such a devastating effect. Now, the thing is about this one, yeah, look, I don't think that line has actually got any support in place. Yeah, so the next support line is over here, and that's actually to really keep the artillery in check, to stop it getting outflanked. You can see that we've got this forward position of Kriegsmen here, jotting out, ready to receive the full brutal charge of the Chaos should the front line start to falter. Because obviously the Chaos are going to come out, try sweeping across from both angles there. First though, they need to fill in these trenches. They're taking a lot of losses. Like I said, I absolutely love artillery. I never get tired of watching things get flown through the air. Involuntary, as it makes it even more funny. As they desperately try to push over into this trench. Some of them make it into the trench, it's just they're not alive when they get in there. But look at this, the Chaos losses are really starting to mount here. With 30,000 Kriegers still defending. The Chaos have yet to actually capture the flank over here. Kind of interesting. Again, that double layer of firepower really helping out. Completely kept the Chaos at bay. Look at them over this side. They're just getting absolutely railed on by the other Krieg line. They're taking so many losses that they just can't outflank these guys. Which is the exact opposite problem that we have on this side of the line. Because there is no support in place, Chaos is just simply overwhelming them. But look at this, they've put up such a damn good fight. They've created a wall here. They've Donald the Trump out of it. Again, I love this time of day because for some reason, the goo just looks so much brighter than ever. And I don't know why. But yeah, I think I've got it set to like 8 AM or something like that, 7 or 8 AM. Yeah, it just made all the goo look very, very bright. I thought it'd be a nice little interesting contrast here. Oh gosh, look at that horde still stretching off into the distance. The Kriegers have definitely got the work cut out. The lines are taking a beating here. Like I said though, these are still the front lines of the second line, if that makes sense. So yeah, the Chaos really need to take out the artillery position if they want to win this one. But this group at the frontier is designed to split the Chaos army in half, down either side of them, like that. And yeah, look at that, they're just doing such an effective job. The Chaos are getting railed as they come over this part. Thousands and thousands of losses every second, man. There's just way too many. The Chaos have only got 1.5, I say only, the Chaos have got 1.5 million troops remaining. And they're not through this front line. And that artillery is just pounding onto them, man. Going to be really interesting here to see if the Kriegers can actually hold this defensive line. So what I'm going to quickly do, hit another little time-lapse camera and see if the Chaos can breach our forward line and start attacking the second. We'll be back in a moment. Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's safe to say that at this point, Chaos has now managed to finally breach the first line of the second line of defense here, and is pouring its units in mass here, right on over towards the third and final line here for the Kriegers, which is their artillery installation. Lord Xandrak the Reborn here, sensing imminent victory, has committed his entire force to the assault. And look at this group of Kriegers here at the front have been doing immense work. They've literally been doing the Emperor's work here. They've even almost covered up a bunker in the corpses of the Chaos dead, as that artillery just lights up the horizon in the background. Bullets are flying overhead as the Chaos try to surge forward into more concentrated firepower to take on the third defensive line. And the Kriegers are ready. They've got a solid wall of Halbor rifles, but look at this, the Chaos trying to push into the flank here of the trench. Smart by the Chaos. Attack where it is weakest. But there's only 670,000 Chaos left to attack this last position. Is that going to be enough? Or is Lord Xandrak here going to be defeated on the field? I mean, he's sensing victory. He thinks he's got it in the bag. But can he get his forces together? Oh man, look at that. Look at how many Chaos are still stuck all the way over here, trying to make their way from across the front lines as they filter through where they can. That is the only real advantage that the Imperials have had. Things like this, which has just completely slowed down the Chaos advance. Like these lines back here, look, the Chaos are still trying to work their massive units around these lines. But yeah, I think they've successfully covered up that first combat line pretty nicely though. I think with the overlapping fields of fire here, yeah, look, they definitely look like trenches were filled in more on this side. Oh my god though, it's a full-on assault. It's a hard push on the flank for Chaos. I think this is where they think the victory is. They know they're not going to break the center at this point. So an amassed force is trying to push down the flank of the trench. It's probably going to be the best chance that they have, to be honest. What they really need to do, though, is start really getting some forces going in the center to distract that firepower. I think they've been struggling to get any meaningful group of forces going forward, again, because they're just trickling in. We're coming down to our last 400,000 here, with only 18,000 defenders remaining. It's going to be a tough old fight for the Kriegers here. But I think that artillery has been an absolute devastating equalizer. I mean, the Chaos are still throwing demons at this, so, you know, there is still hope for the Chaos just yet. As they just pour over the dead. Oh my god, look at that. With all the artillery going off in the distance, that looks so cool. This time of day setting is really nice. I like this one quite a lot. I think what I want to do next is maybe like a midnight battle so we can see it at night. My only concern is that it might be a little bit too dark for us to actually see what's going on when it gets rendered onto YouTube. You'll have to let me know, like in previous battles, I think we've done a couple of nighttime battles. Was it hard for you guys to actually see what was going on? Because obviously I watch all YouTube videos through a computer, so I can watch them on a nice big screen at high resolution. So, but I'm well aware that quite a few of you are using your phones and stuff like that, so you'll have to let me know, because I'd love to do some proper nighttime battles. Oh man, it looks like the Chaos are actually running out of forces on this side. Look at that battlefield, man. Oh, it's just got devastation everywhere. Have they actually managed to push in here, though? No, they didn't. The overlapping firepower here from the Kriegers The shovels and the bayonets, the happy sounds of gas mask noises coming out from them as they just annihilate the chaos here at the end of the trench. Now, it must be said, okay, I was going to say the chaos got in a little bit. No, they didn't. They didn't get into the trench at all. It's just the corpses did. Oh, you gotta love the Kriegers. Absolute legendary fighters. And look at this now. We've got a sporadic, scattered chaos force trying to attack. And they are just being mounted up here like wall decorations. Oh, that is a brutal sight. The renegade gunners here, as they go over the top, are just greeted by all them rifles. And that artillery as well, quite frankly. All that artillery is pointing at the centre. So these boys have been taking such a beating. It's no wonder they didn't manage to break the centre lines. They really should have focused more on these flanks, which again, it's not been a pretty affair for Chaos. It's been really difficult. The troops just being mowed down in the thousands, thanks to the open, flat nature of the terrain here. Well, it was open and flat until, you know, things happened. 120,000 units here remaining for Chaos. And we're going to hit another one of our little time-lapse cameras because we're going to have to wait for all these forces to come trickling in. So we'll be back in a moment. Well, guys, with only 40,000 troops left on the field, I think it's safe to say that Lord Xandrak the Reborn has failed in his assault here on the Kriegers line. The 143rd Siege Regiment of the Krieg have been successful in their defense, and there's only one thing left to do, ladies and gentlemen, in times like that, and that's to clear the Chaos scum off the field. As always, I do hope you've had a blast. I know I have. Please do comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. A massive shout out to all you channel members who helped keep this channel going. And if you're not a channel member, why the heck not? Click the join button down below. And while you're at it, go and check out the amazing Death Before Dishonor hoodies available in the ChaoticPinky store. Links in the description. With all that being said, as always, until next time, peace.